Welcome to the bold analysis. The silence of Kenya Kwanza on the Russia statement that fertilizer that is allegedly subsidized in the country was donated is legendary. They are legends of silence. And that silence is a masterclass of how you can always assume when you're put in the corner. 2 days ago, there was a press briefing that was called, and senior state officials were paraded, lined in the State House to make an announcement that fertilizer had been subsidized from 3,500 to 2,500. And as the messaging team would craft it, it was Ruto has dropped fertilizer, and it's one of the achievements that have been said. As of whether that fertilizer is going to drop for that long, it is not yet known, but that is what so far have been told. So after that, Russia made a tweet, and they are saying that they donated fertilizer worth more than 100,000 tons to Kenyan government, and that fertilizer is going to help them have a bumper harvest this year. That is part of their intervention to supporting food security in Africa. That was actually done by Uralkal, a company from Russia. It was under the Green Sea Initiative to allow grain to come to Africa. But I know Kenya Kwanza people who are not defeated. But on this one, they have kept their silence, because on the other end, Kenya Kwanza are saying we have reduced the price of fertilizer. On the other end, Russia is saying they donated fertilizer to Kenya. William Ruto, the agriculture CS, and any other someone that can speak on behalf of government has remained tight-lipped on the parallel messaging. While Russia is taking the message about donation, government is running with the farmers with the subsidy. I know that a farmer, or it is not a big issue on who has given the fertilizer, whether the fertilizer was donated or how the subsidy has been achieved. It has been, I don't know that it's subsidized or it is reduced. As to whether it was a subsidy or it was a donation now being sold at a fee, it is something that is yet to be understood. But I know for the farmer, he wants it to be low. Now, if the prices will be able to stagnate at 2,500 for the next 1 year, then William Ruto will be the best thing that has happened to the farmers of this country. But I can surely tell you that if we are selling donated fertilizer from Russia, then it's true. That's not good. Now, is it a coincidence that the same time government is talking about the reduced cost of fertilizer, it is the same time that even Russia is raising the question of, the point of, we donated fertilizer? What is the intention? What is the intention? They're simply drawing the parallel. While you are saying you've reduced the price of fertilizer, remember, we donated. So someone is just telling, maybe you are selling the not donated one. They have demanded, of course, according to the protocols, that donation must be labeled according to the international labeling protocols. One of those is branded not for sale. If you are given something, the international labeling protocols for donation is also, you have to put there not for sale, and you can put, it depends with individual countries. There are those countries that you can put maybe US stroke GOK as to be in a partnership, or just donated by this, depending on the agreement. There are also others that will just give and will not demand to get that visibility. But you'll always realize that in terms of projects, okay, of course, these are just donations in kind, but in terms of projects, there have always been a cooperation between, or a partnership between GOK, the government of Kenya, and maybe the other development partners. Have you realized that fertilizer being sold is not labeled according to those standards? And that is one thing that is rightly being demanded. The irony of the century. This irony is also very legendary. The same way the silence on this, on the Russian question on the fertilizer is very, very legendary. The irony is very legendary. That Kenya Kwanza would deem it right to bash Russia on the West African coup d'etat. They will also find it very good to bash Russia on, you know, the summit on how handling African presidents or something. But the same person, the same neighbor is giving you fertilizer, and you cannot come out in public and appreciate that Kenyan government received this donation from Russia. We've always seen everything, but on this one, when someone does well, you cannot appreciate. But on the negative aspect, you are the one shouting loudest. Now that is legendary. You know, I don't know which one you will choose, but that is legendary. I honestly believe if there is something that Kenya Kwanza have very well competent communication personnel, some even poached from media houses, some are seasoned journalists, you know, like my former boss. So clearly, truth be told, the best they can do so that people get to buy the fact that they have achieved, because they want to show the country that we have achieved. If you want to show the country we've achieved reducing the price of fertilizer, I think it will be better you answer the question of how. Answer the question of how. Have you done subsidy? Because if it's subsidy, it is taxpayers' money. Let's know. Have you got it from a cheaper supplier? Let's know. Or are you selling the nation? Because someone will also argue that, yes, you've been given, but what about logistics? I don't know. And if that will be logistics, then even if it was not to be a donation, if it was to be imported, how much will it go for? And have we been receiving, because the price has dropped from 3,500 to 2,500? That profit margin, is very significant. And will that margin cover logistics? You know, it's a big question on that, probably what is going on. But I interpret it in these three ideas here. William Ruto's decision to decline attending Russia's summit could have been behind now the rift, or rather the blood between Putin and William Ruto. By then, during the Russia-African summit, the issue of the fertilizer, Putin himself mentioned that they gave Kenya some fertilizers. And I remember the other day, that was Kabando was asking government that question, that are you guys selling the fertilizer that was supposed to be given to Kenyans for free? Kabando was asking that question that just the other day, and I honestly do believe I did not get an answer. And so, what was better? Of course, William Ruto had spoken tough in South Africa about how African presidents are bungled in one car, in one vehicle, in one bus when they go to Europe. And of course, why 54 presidents would fly and spend taxpayers' money to meet one person, Maju, in a foreign country. Why does that one person come this side? So the politics has always been there for a while. And even that decline to attend the summit, remember, Russia alluded to the fact that US and some other Western countries had influenced and talked out African presidents from attending it. Yes, they had successfully convinced, because Russia, there were some sanctions against Russia from the US and the other Western countries. And that is normally a conflict that has always been there. So they believed that one of the presidents that was convinced by the US and the other Western countries not to attend the Russia summit could be William Ruto. And so when they realized, okay, you did attend my summit, but now you are giving my fertilizer, you're earning some political bonga points with the fertilizer I denoted to you, then I also need to remind the sovereign that the fertilizer came from Russia. That could be the game. Number two, it is about time now we try to review our foreign policy so that if need be, we can stop the anti-Russia statements, especially on the government side. We must not comment about everything. We're not better than Uganda. Museveni met Putin, and Museveni knows there is a coup going on in the West Africa. He's not commenting about it. Tanzania here, they're very quiet about what's happening in West Africa. And they're so tight-lipped in terms. In fact, I understand Tanzania sent representatives, even though Nani did not go. Suluhu did not go, but they sent representatives. So we cannot. We also need to accept the tool of silence, of suspense where Kenya be. Instead of just commenting about everything, tunajiweka sana na tena tunakwenda tunajiumiza. Lastly, cartels are running William Ruto's government. Like it or not. The cartels could have calculated well, the fertilizer is here, we can make money. What you do, just go and do messaging that it's already being given at subsidized fee, but you know what we've done. It is a lot of cartel in it. And probably Russian guys know very well, and that's why they're putting Ruto on toes about this deal. Ladies and gentlemen, that's for tonight. Thursday night, let's meet on Friday. And thank you very much for supporting the Bold.